here to motivate, educate, and entertain. Join me on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. CeCi Thomas Talk Show, where we have powerful discussions centered around health, relationship, careers, and everyday conversation. Follow me on Facebook, I am CeCi Thomas, on Instagram, CeCi Thomas Talk Show. And don't forget, I can promote you too. Email me at iamstaceythomas@gmail.com. Now, it's time for the show. Hello, everybody. This is I am CeCi Thomas. First things first, did you send up your thank you today? All right, you did. Thank you. So as usual, God blesses this platform. And I know you guys say Stacey's always talking about God's blessing her platform. Well, that's exactly what he does. He blesses it. People come on. They show that God shows up and shows out with the people that I have on my show. And tonight, through my PR person, I met a beautiful woman from Milwaukee, Chanelle Coleman Wesley, right? You don't have to be face to face to feel a good spirit. You guys know that, right? It's all in like the way they carry themselves. You watch them, you talk to them, and I'm excited. So rather than talk you to death, let's bring Chanelle on. Hello.
Hey, Stacey. How are you?
I'm fine, beautiful. How are you?
Gorgeous. I'm just so happy to connect. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on this amazing platform. I'm just truly excited.
Sweetheart, you're excited. I'm excited, but I'm going to be honest with you, Chanelle. So, me and you have had conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's time to interview you, and Sarah said one time Stacey researches, and people do say I do that. So Chanelle, and we talked a lot, and I thought, okay, I know some things about Chanelle. And then I started to look Chanelle up, and I'm like, Lord, have mercy, talking about a woman wearing many hats. And I guess it's okay to say this because it's out there on your page or your bio. A mother of 6,
Yes,
a
ma'am.
grandmother of 2,
3. Yes. I,
3.
I had a third one now, so I got 3. Yes.
Chanelle, and you're beautiful, sweetheart. Nobody could ever look like you can really look at a woman and tell if she's had had 1 or 2 babies or more babies, but strong woman, strong woman. So Chanelle, thank you for coming on my platform, sweetheart.
It's definitely my pleasure. Like I said before, I'm just excited to be here, Stacey.
So, and look, so we have the author, we have motivational speaker, we have coach, right?
Yes.
At least that's what you told me when I asked you, how do I describe you?
Yes.
But that's not what word on the street is.
Whoa.
Word on the street and word when you Google someone says poet, playwright, fashion blogger. Is there anything I've missed?
I'm just wearing a lot of hats. Stacey. I think you covered it right there.
So, and with that said, well, let me ask you for the women that are watching,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't mean, well, it could be a man who's raising a family, a single man, but as a woman, how is it that you're doing so much and not sitting back using the kids and the grandkids as an excuse?
That's a very good question, Stacey. I'm glad you asked it. I had a moment where I hit rock bottom after the death of my middle daughter, Tanaya. And I was at a space where I really felt like giving up and just, letting go of this life. And I was pushed by my oldest daughter's words, Tatiana, that Mama, we need you too. So it made me really check into where I was in space at that time. And it really pushed me past my pain point to really access my purpose. And so now that I'm recognizing that time is limited, what am I going to do with the time that I have left here on this space, on this earth? And so I'm running. Your girl is just running. Anything that she thinks she wants to do, your girl is doing it. So that's really what kind of hit me and helped me to be able to focus and to understand purpose, to understand we all have a calling, we all have a limited amount of time here on this earth. And what am I going to do with it? What type of impact am I going to make? What do I want to leave behind? And so that's why I run the race that I run.
Ooh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And it's something how the love of a lost one, it's like losing someone you love sets a fire up underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
It awakens you. Um, and why is it that it takes something like losing a loved one to do that? I will never know. Um, that's one of those things I say sometime. I don't know if you would agree. Like losing my mother was such a storm,
Mm-hmm.
but later I realized blessings come out of storms. It made me better, made me want to do better.
Absolutely. I would agree with you. I think pain and progress are at the same space at the same time. You have to ignore one to tap into the other. And so, usually, where pain is present, progress is right there at your fingertips. That's actually one of the things that I talked about, and She Said Yes to Herself unapologetically, the empowerment guide for women. It's just so many times when you think about childbirth, you recognize that as you're getting further along in labor, those pains tend to intensify. They come closer together. But if the mother to be stops short of delivering that child, then both mom and baby are in peril. And so she has to be able to push past the present pain that she's feeling in order to be able to access that blessing. And when she looks at that baby, I don't care how much travail she had, bringing that baby into this atmosphere, into this world. When she looks down and she sees that baby, she feels that her work was it wasn't in vain, it was worth it. And she forgets all about that, and she focuses on this beautiful being that she has. And that's the same thing with purpose and your progress. When you see the pain, but when you see the purpose and the progress, you're like, the pain with the afterthought. You know what I mean? You focus on this beautiful thing that's been birthed because of this situation.
And when you say purpose, that brings me to wanting to ask you, because I'm curious with all the things you do, and we're going to touch on it, everything you do. But as far as purpose, what is your purpose?
My purpose is to motivate, encourage, and inspire women to be able to walk boldly in their godly divine purpose, to be able to exercise faith over fear, and to overcome limiting beliefs. And why is that? Because I was once there. I feel like, sometimes God gives you an escape route and allows you to be able to get out. And your way out is usually someone else's guide on how they too can get out. And so your job and your commission is to be able to reach back and to help the next sister or the next brother in their journey.
Now, such a job that you feel such a big purpose doesn't always come easy to people. People
Mm-hmm.
are fearful. People go through this thing. Can I do it? Should I even try?
Mm-hmm.
When you realized your purpose, was it something, I know my purpose and I'm excited, or were you hesitant?
I think both are true. You know what I mean? I think when you're pursuing purpose, usually, like I said, there's a pain point that's there, that's a driver that can sometimes be that instigator that pushes you out of that space where you felt comfortable. And sometimes we feel that growth is supposed to look, so strategic and in line and fits in all of these little boxes, but it doesn't go that way. And I think as you are challenged and as you are pushed and as you're prodded to step outside of those comfort zones, you begin to recognize the different skills and abilities and talents that God has just blessed you with. And it allows you to be able to make your heart race and you feel like, okay, this is what I was supposed to do. And it's just that additional, affirmation in yourself, just recognizing that this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the space in that I'm supposed to be in, and I'm doing exactly what I was called to
Such an obedient woman,
do.
an obedient person. Some would be afraid, and you know what? Things get serious when Stacy put the glasses on.
Baby, talk about it. I'm ready. Hey, Luana. She watched Shade Fortunes. I'm
Lawana
ready.
Bradford got me putting the glasses on.
Put your glasses on. I'm ready.
Chanel, with the shift that just happened in our nation, women are feeling fear, disappointment, and anxiety. This is your time to help guide individuals out of the dark space and find a way to hope again.
Yes.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
beautiful. I mean, I think she hit the nail on the head. I mean, especially when we think about women's rights being challenged, and uh, it's at a time in life that I never thought I would see. You know what I mean? Some things that are happening now that I couldn't have predicted, and you really have to be able to see past your pain points, even in this situation, right? Even in travesty, even in times of disillusionment. And this morning when I saw it, I'm like, Lord God, where are we at? It really makes those of us, who are called to really step up, push into your thing. And everybody's called to step up, but not everybody's going to heed the call. You know what I mean? And
Right.
just like when we had, unfortunately, in the pandemic broke people, but it also made people.
That's
And
right.
so you have the ability, even in times of crisis, to be able to reinvent yourself and to be able to develop and to really to access that next level. So we just have to, be very pointed in this point and ask ourselves, what does this next level look like? We're not going to be, just accept the cards that are being dealt to us. What are we going to do to provoke change? What are we going to do to be able to initiate things that are going to be able to also be comprehensive of what we need as women?
And I think I like it. I like what you ladies are saying, what Luana said. I love what you both are saying. I don't just like it. Um, Speaking of like the times we're in now, I believe we don't always understand why we're going through things. We don't always understand why bad things happen. I believe that bad things teach us, hard times teach us.
Yes.
There's things that I believe with what I heard this morning.
Mm-hmm.
My first thing is I'm bothered.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? Like you said, the women's rights, right? The
Mm-hmm.
people that don't harm people, but you may have to go back home where you'll be abused or mistreated, right?
Yes.
So at one moment, I start to worry, but then I go back and I remember some things that have gone on in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and the things that have gone on in my life when God has showed up and showed out.
Mm.
Chanelle, this morning I said, you know what? Before I even did my live, God's in control.
And yes, he is.
Let those emotions go.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
You either gonna trust him or you not.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get past this. And we have people like Chanel, we have people like LaWanna Bradford
Yes.
reminding us every day, let's keep this thing moving.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I see why you're being hired to speak. I see why you're being booked state to state. I see it. I see it. We're going to need you to come to Virginia. But so, as an author, that book, I haven't gotten it yet. I do plan to
Mm-hmm.
read it. And following you puts a light, puts fire up under someone too, because it makes them want to know more about you. Saying yes to yourself unapologetically. Please
Mm-hmm.
explain to me why that title and what is it about without giving the story away.
Oh, I can tell you this. I'm gonna tell you right now, because I love her. Okay, and before I wrote her, I wrote "Naked and Not Ashamed: The Transformational Devotional Experience." And so, after I wrote it, at the time I was on my YouTube courses and I was in school on YouTube, and my instructor on YouTube said, "Nothing provides more impact for your first book like your next book." And I wanted to do a series. I wanted to do something that I was very adamant about, something I was passionate about, something that I felt that was authentic to me, something I felt that I could give a voice to. And I thought about where I was in this space in this time in my life. And I recognized that after so long, I was finally saying yes to Chanelle, yes to myself. I had said yes to my family, to my friends, to my, to the job and to all these other things. But Chanelle, I never really gave Chanelle a yes. And I was finally at a space where I was saying yes. Initially, my yes was very timid. It was very weak. It was barely a whisper, but it became very bold. It became very daring. It became very unapologetic. And as I thought about everything, I'm like, she said yes to herself. And I'm like, she said yes to herself unapologetically. And it just came from that. And that's literally where it came from.
I love it. I love it. It seems like since man, if I would have known that when I was in my 20s, it seems like maybe when I became 50, I got bolder. I'm not gonna apologize, like you said, for my yes. I'm not gonna apologize for being Stacy. At one
Yeah.
time, I questioned myself, or what people thought or whatever. I'm showing up as me. I'm
Talk
showing up
about
as
it.
me.
Talk
I,
about it.
and call me selfish, but I am not gonna apologize for being me.
No, I don't think it's selfish. I think it's necessary. I think it's authentic. I think we've become so comfortable with wearing masks that we don't know how to act right when, the mask comes off and people see the real. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right,
I think we have to challenge that narrative. You know what I mean? And
right.
just showing up in that space as your authentic self. Because so many times, even when you're doing what you're doing and all the various things that how you're making an impact, we have that tendency to want to grab that mask or that imposter syndrome and wear this thing that fits what we feel like society or what's accepted. And we really can't make the impact that we were designed to create and to make until we get rid of that mask and become our authentic selves. You know what I mean? In each level, each trial, each season produces a new level. It's a new upgrade. It's, this version was Chanel. Now this one, Chanel 2.0. And since I'm just trying to get ready for Chanel 5.0, because she's coming and she's going to be a beast when she get there.
So, naked and not ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
Beside, in some of the words, it said you're touching on sexual abuse, grief, low self-esteem, and shame.
Yes.
So when you wrote that book, and I know you just talked about it, when all these things are named, are you saying that you've been touched by each one?
Absolutely. So what I do is for Naked and Not Ashamed, I believe that there are stories that align with us from stories from in the Word of God. So I paralleled a woman of God's story, her story in the Word of God. Then I took my own personal journey, and then I also wanted the reader to be able to unpack her story because she has a story as well. So Naked and Not Ashamed is me showing you some of my good days because Chanel has good days. I show you some of my bad days because Chanel got bad days. And I also showed you some of my ugly days. I had a thing running with the sisters at the church, and I was like, you know what? If she started giving me the side eye, I'm gonna ask her, babe, what chapter was it that really made you feel like you needed to cut me off? Like, I want to know which one was it for you that finally did it, And we would, laugh back and forth, and I would always be teasing them. I'm like, I saw you give me that side eye, girl. What chapter are you reading? So I So the thing was, I gave something very transparent. I became very naked. Sometimes when you think about, being naked, sometimes it's a physical sense, but sometimes you can strip yourself down to the bare bones and expose parts of you that you might not have wanted to expose. And in this book, I just exposed everything that I felt like I wanted to do. I felt like I was a very naked conversation. I wanted the reader to be able to get naked and to be able to unpack her feelings and not feel as if she had to fake as everything was okay and pretend that everything was going well. I wanted her to recognize and to share and unpack and just really deal with her story, to see some strengths from the stories from the women in the Bible and also draw some parallels from my story as well.
I don't start this sniffing until I'm online. As you would think, I'm
You
allergic to
fine.
being
It
online.
happens.
Please
That's
excuse
that's your
me.
that's your mask off right there, Stacey. You're like, hey, guess what? This is real live TV, okay?
So we have the author. I see why you're a motivational speaker, somewhat, right? But you've gone into the prison recently.
Yes.
What part of you, author, speaker, coach, or all three, went into the prison?
All three went into the prison, and I want to say that it was such an impactful experience that not only were we there to serve and to share space with them, but it created an exchange. I left out of there a different person. We were all able to connect. It was such a beautiful thing. First of all, I'm gonna say in Arizona it's hot. They got a different kind of heat
I,
down there.
I saw the
We were
video.
outside. Your girl was like, "It's hot out here. I don't know if I'm gonna make it." But the bridge builders. I went down with Tina Marie and the bridge builders. We were all sitting together. We had our purple on. The ladies were there. They were in their orange, and we were just, you could feel the energy between both, and it wasn't as if it was us and then it was them. It was just, us, all of us together, and we could see parallels in our journey. And what was really impactful for me was the women coming up to me saying, I just was really moved by your story, what you said. I don't cry, but you, girl, you got me, got me up in here getting ready to shed tears. And it was just such an amazing experience. And, naturally I'm a hugger, so I want to hug and embrace, but that's not something that they really allow in their situation because it was maximum security. But just being able to be in that space and be close enough, up on a sister, and to be able to share and to be able to have that exchange. And then, we had a couple of women that came up to me, asked me for prayer, and so we got in a prayer group, and we prayed. It was, I want to say, it was a powerful experience. It was nothing like it. It's something I'm very inspired by, and I definitely plan on going back.
So when you went, you knew you were going there to give. Did you realize you were going to receive also?
No. And when I tell you, it was such a full experience. Everyone left out of there like on a high almost. I mean, it was such a blatant transaction between the two groups. Both were benefited. And what was so inspiring, we were all kind of talking about it in the Bridge Builder chat. And we had one of our sisters, Cynthia, she posted because she talked about the event on her page, and there was a woman who reached out to her, and she said that her daughter was in Perryville institution, and she was there at the event, and she called her crying and just talking about the impact that event had made on her. And so, like I said, it just made the whole thing come full circle for all of us.
What is Build Bridgers?
So Tina Marie and the Bridge Builders is a space that creates bridges for women, especially women of color, over the age of 50, but they do have some younger people in there because I'm 48 and we have some that's younger. So what it does is it creates space for women. It provides a bridge not just for community and for fellowship, but also helping women to level up in every area imaginable. It's a space that provides, transparency, authenticity. It's a space that provides education and empowerment. It's something that I'm just excited to be a member of this organization. The organizer is Tina Marie Fowler. When I tell you, she's just a ball of energy, such an intelligent, innovative, a very passionate woman. And when I say she's very intentional about creating spaces that are going to provide opportunities for us to grow and for us to thrive. I love it. One of the sayings that they have is, "We still got the juice." Sometimes you feel like once you're hitting that middle age, like, I don't know if I got it anymore. One of the things that the bridge builders say is like, hey, we still got the juice. And I'm telling you, we still got the juice. And the bridge builders believe in being outside and making an impact, and loving on each other. It's a space where we celebrate each other. It's a space where we're kind of just feeling each other. And so I love it. I love my sisters. They're very supportive, and it just feels like an additional part of family.
Wow, it sounds great. You're gonna have me looking her up, but
Okay.
you have me looking her up. But look, I'm got a little train of thought. States lost my train of thought there.
I got you.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. You guys are doing what I always try to tell people, and I remind myself of this. Don't just sit back and pray. Do something.
Yes.
Do something. So it's awesome and it's amazing what y'all are doing. When I saw on Facebook when you posted the video where you've been, I was like, wow. Because some people realize, some people think, and I'm just gonna say this, some people think the only time they can give you a good word is if you're in church.
Right.
Sometimes I'm a firm believer, you got to take it outside of the church and meet the people where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So bless you all for what you're doing. You've got some things coming up.
Yes.
You got first a new book coming out.
Yes. I'm so excited. Yes.
I'm gonna post that. When is that? Is that available?
It's available right now for pre-order. It's going to officially go live on November 21st. So I'm so excited. The title of this book is The Empower Her Blueprint: Strategies for Women of Faith on the Rise. And if you're wondering what this book is, it's going to provide you 17 actionable steps that will take you from waiting on it to walking in it. It is the go-to guide for a woman who is getting ready to elevate and she
Excuse
wants
me.
that next level. She's ready to see her new 2.0 or 5.0 edition of herself.
Chanelle, you are a ball of fire. You got me so excited. I love the cover. I love the cover. So you guys can see the cover of the book. Take a screenshot. You see the name of the book that's coming out. Follow Chanelle for her books, and don't let this be the only book you check out. But okay, so now we're gonna go over to this event that's happening.
Yes, yes,
Tell us
yes, yes.
about that.
Okay, so this is She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically presents She Planted, She Watered, She Bloomed. Get up and go, girl. Women's Empowerment Luncheon. So if you think of the book on steroids, and the book is birthing an event, and you want to be able to experience what she said yes to herself, both the first edition and the anthology, and also this new guide, which is the empowerment guide, then that's what it is. It's all juiced down into this event, and now it's on steroids. It's something that's not only going to give you empowerment, but it's going to give you actionable steps. One thing that I really love is I love things that are practical. You know, how can I take this with me? How can I unpack this and be able to take this in my journey so that I can be better? I don't want to just digest good information. I want to be able to, put it into use. And that's what this empowerment event is all about. It's about women stepping into their purpose. It's about women overcoming, faith over fear. It's about overcoming limiting mindsets and beliefs. It's about, stepping forward from the things that previously held you back. I think we've all had that moment where I like to call, the get in girl. Like I was one of those girls who was those all time turners as a kid. I didn't want to do the double dutch. I was scared to jump out there in the rope. I was afraid of getting hit, afraid of what it was going to look like. And so I was an all-time turner. Like, okay, since I'm just going to turn this rope,
All time
you jump
Turner.
in. Yeah, I was an all-time turner. My sister Tina, she could pop it, lock it, pick it up, drop it, do all kinds of little stuff. I just, rooting for her on the sidelines. And they're like, you want to jump, Chanelle? No. I'm an all-time turner over here. Don't worry about me, man. I'm just going to turn this rope. And so I played life a lot like the way I played rope. It's your turn, girl. Go, you jump in. I'm just gonna turn. And when I finally hit that roadblock and I hit rock bottom after the death of my daughter Tanaya, it made me now say, you have to move from this space that you are in this all-time turner position and jump in the rope. And it feels scary. It feels, intimidating, but just jumping out there, each thing opened up more levels. I think sometimes when you're saying no, all you see is the roadblocks, all you see is the hindrances. But once you begin saying yes, it's like God just opens up and unlocks little keys and everything just starts opening. And you just have to not be afraid to walk through that next door that God's opening for you.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
It's gonna take place in Milwaukee.
Yes, girl. She's taking place in December 8th. She is a whole vibe, a whole feeling, a whole thing. But it's all based around She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically Presents. Why? Because it's more than a book. It's a movement. It's a brand. It's a vibe. It's a slogan. It's an anthem, baby. She's all that. That's what she said yes to
Are you gonna
herself.
travel with it?
Actually, yes, it's something that I'm very excited about. We're planning on putting on something in Georgia next year. So events are something that I love because I love being able to have that personal engagement. It's one thing, to write a book and you really don't know what people are thinking until they if they say something back to you.
Right.
Um, but most often you don't really get that unless you go, and maybe sometimes some people may write a review on Amazon or may reach out to you and say some things. Um, I was recently in Carolina and Charlotte for a Christian book lovers retreat, and I went up and talked about, she said yes and naked and not ashamed, and this lady got up and she was like, "Oh yeah, you got to get that." She said yes to herself. I'm thinking she got the wrong book. She don't know me. Like I ain't never been here before. I don't know her. And after I had said my little thing, she's like, "You need to get this book." And well, once we got done doing our little talking, I went over there. I was like, "You have my book?" She was like, "Yeah." I said, "I don't live here. I come from Milwaukee. Are you sure you have my book?" She was like, "Yeah." She said, "Let me show you." She went to her Facebook page and she showed me where my book was on her platform for Book of the Day. I didn't recognize that she was a reviewer that I had sent my book to provide a review. But it took so long because she gets so many books and she reviews them and tell people what her thoughts are. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is a full circle moment. But when she initially was saying it, I was like, this sister got the wrong person. She ain't talking about the right book because I don't know her. But it turned out she was
Sweet.
talking about the book. So events, you are able to actually touch people. You're
Right.
actually able to see their emotion. They can talk to you. They can handle you. That's one thing that I love about putting on plays, because you don't have to wait for crowd anticipation or what they're feeling.
Right.
If they're feeling it, they're gonna let you know. If they're
Right.
not feeling it, guess what? The phones is coming out. They're gonna start walking out. They're gonna let you know that too. So books, you don't really have that. So I love the idea of being able to have these events, to be able to impact women, to provide resources, to provide tips, to provide strategies, but also give women that extra oomph, that inspiration that they need to make it to that next level in life.
And you're there. That's awesome. I'll catch Georgia. That gives me
Okay,
time to plan.
all right.
Um, cause Milwaukee, it's cold.
Girl, it's cold up here.
No,
Kate was, I was talking to Kate, and Kate was like, "I can't come up there, dude." I said, "Baby, it's cold. Y'all talking about cold at the 50s. No.
I
If
don't.
you see 50 right now, we're like, girl, it's hot outside. I ain't gonna wear no coat. That's what we gonna do up here. It gets cold up here."
I don't know. Had I heard about this event earlier, I can't say that I wouldn't have come because there's nothing like being fed goodness, good
Girl,
words.
when I tell you it's an impactful event, I had so many powerhouses speaking. I'm so excited to be a part of something like this.
Okay, see, I'm not the only one after Chanel. Lawana Bradford, by the way, if you're wondering why Lawana Bradford is popping up on here, everybody, she's another amazing woman
Yes.
that you should follow. Go to YouTube, look at the Stacey Thomas Show, and you will see a full interview with her. Stacey got the glasses on again, Chanel. Lawana says, "Oh, would love to have you as a guest on my TV show, Power of the Pen, and talk about your upcoming book. Let's connect, Chanel."
Yes, ma'am. I sure will. I will be reaching. I will be reaching out to you after this show. I sure shall.
Listen, that excites me that you got that invitation because I always say, and I realize this, Chanel, Stacey, when you connect with someone, it doesn't mean the blessing is for you. Sometimes I'm merely supposed to be the bridge. So I feel like because she has that platform, I did good tonight, Chanel,
Honey,
bringing
you
you
did more
on.
than good, and I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna let you know this. Your girl finna shout you out. I'm gonna just let you know that. I'm gonna tell them, hey, I need y'all to pull up on my girl. I am Stacey, and make sure you're following her and that
Thank
you're
you.
supporting everything that she's doing. So that bridge goes both ways. I like, two-way traffic over here.
Thank you, sweetheart. This has been great.
I loved it.
There's so much to you that don't be surprised. We're gonna have to do something on the blog talk. Um, this has been great. The things you're doing is great. Keep on doing what you're doing. I don't think you're gonna let what's going on in the world stop you, but just know you are what you're doing is something that, and you already know this, women need.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the things that you've gone through and the fact that you are willing to share it with others. I heard someone say one time at a conference, you have a story. How dare you keep it to yourself when it could bless someone else?
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Well, thank you for having me. It's definitely been my pleasure.
And for those that need to connect with you, well, the coaching, you're coaching.
Yes, ma'am. I love coaching. I'm gonna say I love hands-on work.
Okay.
We have homework and everything. Sometimes people like me, sometimes they don't.
Okay.
You got to be able to give them both sides. I'm all about accountability, babe. We don't, if you don't want no accountability, then you don't want to come.
You don't want
I'm gonna
Chanel.
ask you. I'm gonna follow up when you tell me something. I'm gonna say, hey, sis, what about this thing that we said we were gonna do? Did we do that thing? And if we didn't, okay, why did we fall off? And so, what can we do to improve that? And it's not about necessarily beating people up because I don't believe in things. I don't think that that's a positive space. But accountability is straightforward. It's honest questions. It's giving you some love, some appreciation, but it's also holding you accountable. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Being invested and loving on a person enough to be able to say, I care about you, and what can we do to be able to take us from where we are here? And I see you want to go there. So, how can we get there?
So I'm not sure if this is the right thing to say if you agree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Your ministry is going to bless a lot of people.
I'm gonna receive that. I'm gonna receive
It's
that.
going to bless
Yeah.
a lot of people. And for those that want to contact you, I have one here, Facebook. Is there another way?
They can reach me, Chanelle Coleman Wesley. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. But I really am on on Facebook primarily. But they can also email me at Chanelle Coleman Wesley at gmail.com if they want to. And they can direct message me. I'm a messenger. I stay in Messenger. Like if you really want to talk and like chop it up, like hit me up on Messenger. I'm very much so approachable.
And I've got to shout Chris Pome out.
Hey Chris.
Chris. Chris is going to come on the show. Chris has a radio show down in Atlanta. Chris travels to different big events, interviewing well-known people at, I think, sporting events.
Nice.
Um, Chris also brings a variety of guests on his show that I've seen on Facebook. Chris, thank you for watching. Thank you, everybody. Chanelle, it's been great, sweetheart.
I've had fun. We're gonna have to do this again.
Yes, yes. Don't tell Stacy that.
Girl, I'm serious. And then you gotta come on my show too.
Of course, sweetheart. Take care of yourself. Feel free if there's something I left out that you need to post under the show on Facebook or Instagram. Put your information there. If someone hits me up wanting to know about you and they can't reach you, I'll be sure to let you know. And if anyone is looking for a powerful speaker, please contact Chanelle. Let her let her bring some fire in the building.
I'm
Take
excited, sis. I'm ready. So
take
thank you again, Stacey.
take care, sweetheart. And I'll see you in Georgia.
Yes, ma'am. You certainly shall.
Have a good one, beautiful.
All right, you too, gorgeous.
Bye bye. Tell me, God, don't show up and show out with these guests. Look at him. That was great. That was great. I'm going to post her event up again for those of you who are in Milwaukee. There are some people that don't mind jumping on a plane. Contact her if you want to know more about the event. Okay, take a screenshot of it. And then let's not forget that she has a new book. A new book. I know this for a fact. She is on Amazon. No excuses that you couldn't find her on Facebook. If you're looking for the book, go to Amazon. If you're looking to follow her, go to Chanelle Coleman Wesley. And listen, if you're trying to reach her, look at me with the fingers up. If you're trying to reach her, be patient. She's busy. I'm sure she'll get back with you if you want to book her as a speaker. As always, don't stress too much about yesterday. Don't worry too much about tomorrow, because if you do, you just might miss living today. Thank you, everyone, for watching.